right, good morning, everybody. We are here in the club. We have got a great crowd again, as always. Thank you, Snowbirds, for coming back and visiting us. We love you. All right, let's start this thing out. Joe, you have got two videos that I did not share 2 weeks ago because I forgot. So which one would you want me to show first, Joe?
Matters not.
Does it matter now? You want me to do the javelinas? Let's look at javelinas.
Sure.
We need something. So tell us about the javelinas.
Okay, so I'll just mention that I was on my knees out in the front yard, and that will explain something later on. But so there I was out there picking up leaves or something or other, and as we know, with javelinas, we may first smell them or hear them before we see them, and so a neighbor's tree I have yet to find out what it is that drops, but something drops that the javelinas, it's the only thing they care about in the whole street, except of course turning over all the garbage cans. But so I just this is my second javelina show.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, let's check it out. What do we think of that?
Yeah, I think it should be on Showtime.
Well, the magic question is that music copyrighted that we can play that?
Oh, it's YouTube has accepted it.
Okay, good. That's all I needed to know. That's where we talk about, there's a song that obviously is a commercial song, yet YouTube will allow it. So thank you for checking that for me, because as soon as I heard the music, I thought, oh boy, am I going to have to cut this section out of the video? What did you think of the text?
I like
rolling
it.
text.
Well, I like what you did with the film speed too, when he's moving his head, right? Or maybe that was actually, but it looked like you slowed it down or sped it up to,
Sped it up.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know,
And when he's walking, it's that,
yeah.
old,
A little jerky,
yeah,
the fast motion thing.
Charlie Chaplin
Oh,
kind of
okay.
walk.
Yeah. I only mentioned that I was on my knees because as pathetic as, or as limited as their vision is, I'm sure that javelina never saw me or it wouldn't have come down. And why it came down the street, once everybody else had gone around the back, I don't know, but.
How close was he? You, approximately.
To
The back of the room?
yeah, well,
Maybe 30 feet?
yeah, and it's pretty close, 20 feet, 30, yeah, whatever. And of course, I don't think that this would have worked without the baby.
No.
Yeah,
Great.
true. Did you use a gimbal?
No, sir.
It's good steady.
Thanks.
Joe just got a gimbal, so he got a DJI gimbal that we've talked about before, so
It's my new baby.
he hasn't started to play with it yet, but we'll work on that with him. Okay,
That was fun.
does anybody have anything else on that?
Good job.
All right, well,
Well, that you
Joe,
were on your knees made it a good angle.
well, yeah, he's certainly down there.
That's a good point.
That was great. Yeah, very good.
Joe, you got one more for us on, why don't you tell us about this video, please?
Okay, so during the holidays, my wife and daughter, we went up to the Tucson Botanical Garden. And I don't even think I had the train set on my mind, but some of you, if you've been there in the last, say like before 2024, there was a train layout that was really pretty sad. It was on the ground. Sometimes it might be running and sometimes not. And you just kind of thought, boy, this is really sad.
Mostly not.
Well, was I in for a surprise? Yeah,
They stepped up the game.
this train layout, this train design, has anybody been there since May of this year or May of 24?
Oh, yeah.
Tom?
Yes.
You know about the Applied, forget the name of the company right now, but it's a company out of, I think, maybe Tennessee or Kentucky.
I think it's Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Alexandra?
asking them if the Tucson Garden Rail Society had anything to do with it. And they said, no, we went with the professionals.
Yeah. And when you see this, I didn't do it justice. I knew that I had to catch up with my wife and daughter, or I would be considered rude. So this was maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes total.
All right, let's check it out. Let's check it out.
All aboard!
And there's a bunch of presents. What do you think's in the boxes? Rudolph peeking out of there? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my god, that's really funny. There's Rudolph peeking out of there.
Charlie,
Yes.
you're a volunteer here of the trains and the models and all, right?
I am indeed. With great, it's just like a kid in a candy store. I think it's a wonderful place.
And how long has it been here?
The installation was completed in May of this year. 6 trains running, and we do occasionally shut one off to give it a break because they are electric motors and small and a lot of moving parts, and it's maintenance. So we're here from 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and it's pretty easy work if you want to know the truth.
That's so cool. How cool. Guys, it went over us. Did you see this picture by foot?
What do we think of that?
Another great job, Joe.
Did you download the break sound effects at the end there that? Or was that something you had?
Yeah, something from the internet, yeah.
You use sound effects on the train tracks and that.
I did on some of them, actually.
Yeah.
First one, for anyone who knows, the 4014, the big boy. That was the black and white, the intro was, when that 4014 came to Tucson a couple years back, maybe 3 years back. Gotta love that 4014, right?
Oh, yeah.
I never even saw the whole scene there. And I knew at that time of the day, it wasn't the best time, but, Tom, are you the only one who has been there to see this? Cause I want to tell you about the company that did it, that made it.
Yeah, we went, during the, light up,
Oh, yeah.
holiday lights and everything, and they had it going with, some of the trains decked out with, holiday lights and so forth. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I wondered, but, so the company that made it, this was the first, their first project west of the Mississippi. And they do botanical gardens, and botanical gardens are kind of, I guess, known for having train layouts. I know the one I had back in our botanical garden back in Madison, Wisconsin, has had one forever. Nothing like this. I mean, it's just a temporary seasonal thing. But this thing, I asked Charlie, who did not want to go on record, but I'll tell you anyhow. I asked him if $200,000 would have covered that installation. And he said, I think it's more like 3 or 350.
Wow.
Now, that when I've gone online, I've spent a lot of time online looking at that company. It is so exciting. They have professionals like landscape architects that work for them. And it's kind of a small company. It was featured on PBS a few years back when the founder, the owner, who had an interesting background anyhow, but so they're doing these things with most all of their products are from nature. Things from trees, things from bushes, things from whatever, nuts. It's just amazing. And they've done some in New York out east that are online that are great. And then when I talked with a gal at the botanical garden, she said yes, and she said they just had a fire that just wiped out their whole operation, and it was right in the middle of them doing something in Singapore or something. But it's such a big deal. If you go there, it's for you to enjoy.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
What did you think of the, when he had you could hear the kids talking and they were seeing the trains? Did you like that?
Yes.
And ambient sound?
Yes.
I thought that was nice. The other thing I thought that was really nice, there was no music. Just the experience of the sound, the ambient sound of what's going on. Yes, you added some train noise in there, but it really worked well.
It's so funny you'd say that because I thought, what a relief. I don't have to worry about copyright.
Yes. Now, the one thing, and I loved your interview with the guy, I have one suggestion for you.
Yes.
You're doing quick cuts with him because you have to.
Oh, let me tell you. He, of all professions,
Yes.
he was the hell, he was a talker. What the hell am I looking for? The word,
What kind of job?
Voiceover?
voiceover.
Oh, really?
He was a voiceover guy.
Wow.
And I think he was caught off guard by me interviewing him, because that's not what his bag was, you know? So I was thinking of you when I was editing
Right.
him. It was so awkward.
Mhm.
I had to do a lot of cuts.
Right.
I cut stuff out
Right.
deliberately, that, you know, because it got a little bit long.
Well, sure.
But tell me, because I couldn't figure out, there's one thing where you go from, he says 6 trains and
Well, here's what I would do. I love the fact that he got nice and close with the phone. Because there's a lot of ambient noise that's going on, so you can hear the guy without having an external mic. That was really smart. You know, if you're sitting there and you've got the phone and, you know, I'm interviewing Todd and I'm way back here. You're gonna pick up all that noise of the people and everything. He got right up there and did it, which was great. I really liked that. Now, the thing I would do, where you've got these cuts, lay in a little B-roll of the trains just to cover that cut. So basically, if we watch that again, just that little bit.
yeah. The models and all, right?
And I love that you're asking the question and interviewing him.
It's just like a kid in a candy store. I think it's a wonderful place.
And how long has it been here?
The installation was completed in May of this year, 6 trains.
Okay,
Yep, that's the spot.
well, that's one of the spots. So what I would end up doing, he's talking about the installation of it. Then show me a nice wide shot for 3-4 seconds, maybe, just to cover that so we don't see the transition.
Thank you.
And
While
then,
you still have his audio in the background?
okay, so have his audio going. Just put some B-roll in there of the action and knock the noise out of the volume or the audio level out of that B-roll.
Yeah.
And then you had a second one here.
The installation was completed in May of this year, 6 trains running.
And the other thing you could do too is you see how he says 6 trains running. If you space that out just a little bit so it lets it breathe a little bit, it would help that person here listening to it. And then you have another cut coming up.
We do occasionally cut one off to give it a break because they are electric motors, small and a lot of moving parts, and it's maintenance. So
the thing that's nice is you've got about a good 10 seconds there, 10-12 seconds again. So adding 3 or 4 seconds right where that cut is, and then at the back end here, adding another little clip of B-roll of the trains would be perfect. It hides all that, and then yet we still get it on camera. So that's just a thought.
Thank you.
The other question I have is, who is he?
Well, that would be good too.
What is he?
Well, we can say he's a guide, but
Oh, I said volunteer.
He said he was a volunteer.
I said you're a volunteer. Charlie, you're a volunteer here of the trains and the models and all, right? Oh,
So maybe to Phil-
Phil's point, I forgot to go back and put his name in.
well, that would be
I-
good.
Just like Sugar said,
No,
he operates the trains.
Well, actually, he doesn't. He,
Okay.
humble.
Just a guy you met there?
No. He told me it's the conductors who run the trains. The conductor was nowhere around, or so I thought.
Sure,
Apparently, he's in a little shed
okay,
and he's operating the 6 trains.
okay. Well, to Phil's point, I think all you would have to do is, if it was me, is I would just put,
Exactly.
I would put Charlie,
Yep,
Botanical Gardens volunteer.
Yep.
Something like that would just be all you need.
it's a great point.
Yeah. But you do say it, it's just, that would be
No, I
nice to.
forgot to put it.
That's okay. we'll do that and add a little B-roll. You're good to go.
Retired voiceover.
There you go.
Hey, I thought about it later. I said, just thinking, gee, we could use him, couldn't we?
Sure.
What is? I mean,
He's not part of the training club. Like Tom said,
Is he just a volunteer in the
Just a
gardens?
Volunteer.
yeah,
They have a ton of volunteers throughout the
yeah.
botanical gardens, all kind of backgrounds.
oh, it's a group place.
Oh.
Okay, does anybody have anything else on that? I think it was really well done. I think just a little tweakage, and that's good to go. That'd be another one for Showtime.
Yep.
Definitely. All
So
right.
get to it, Joe.
Get to it. Okay, Patrick has got, you're a new member, right?
Right.
And is this the favorite shots one? I think it is.
Yeah.
Tell us about this, and then let's see what you got.
Well, I joined the club and heard that you share a lot of photos, and I've been taking photos, like everybody else. Some of them go back to 1970 or so, or no, 1990. And from an early iPhone to a Canon 5, all the shots go from anywhere from Hong Kong, China, Bali, my backyard when I lived in Colorado. So all the shots were taken by me and
Okay.
a few by my wife.
All right, well, let's check it out.
pissed yet? Is that the weird
Hey, we got a crossing. Look at this guy.
What do we think of that?
Long,
Pretty long.
Yeah.
I would break it up into 2 or 3 parts. I would do one that is mainly travel. And then give yourself a little subtitle or whatever that just says where you're at. There's a lot of places I recognize, a lot of them I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I would do one that was more on your wildlife stuff, because that was it was great too. I mean,
Yeah.
we just,
It was just all my favorite shots and I just put them all
well,
together.
it's
Sure,
first
first
long
try.
as it is, but if you broke it up into 2, it would be better. I
Yeah.
think.
Go ahead, Todd.
A couple things to consider. On your videos, run them through a stabilization software, so they're not so bouncy.
I noticed that.
That should help. Some of the other images that were kind of out of focus,
Yeah, I saw.
we have Topaz over in our photo lab. You can run it through that. It does a really nice job on cleaning it up. If it doesn't clean it up enough, I would drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had some beautiful shots, a lot of shots. But I would recommend you look at the storytelling video that's posted someplace and organize it differently, maybe into 2 or 3 things. And decide who your audience is gonna be. I mean, for you, this is a great collection of your favorite shots.
Mhm.
But it's now the question is, what do you want to do with them?
Right.
And what story do you want to tell and who do you want to tell it to? And,
is it a video or is it a slideshow?
right.
Sure.
Let me
Well,
commit.
you can incorporate videos and slideshows
Well, that's-
together.
that's not what he
Video
needs,
telling
though.
a story, a slideshow doesn't.
Right. But I was thinking, I mean, I would, even if it was me personally, I think I'd break it up into like 5 or 7 videos. Really break it up more in terms of themes, because like at the end there, we have a shot of Shanghai, and now we're at the rodeo.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and like Carol said, there's some places that I recognize, but there's others I had no idea. I'd love to know, where are we? Okay,
Yeah.
we're in Vienna, give me all the Vienna shots.
The
Kind of a thing.
really close-up shots of the baby were just priceless. Those were incredible.
Yeah.
Those were just fabulous.
And then see that, and maybe that is its own video.
Right.
Yeah.
The having these subjects be shorter, which is good, but it also kind of gives us that consistency of theme throughout, which would be good.
I did the baby ones. I have 3 grandchildren. And I did one for each within a week that they were born.
Oh, wow.
I took pictures of their fingers, their ears,
Yeah.
their nose, their mouth, their feet. Just to say at one time, that's the smallest they'll be.
Sure. Well, sure, they're very fresh at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Now, what program did you use to edit this in?
Mavi?
Okay, and is that something that you put all the elements in and then you say, this is where I want the images and the videos to be, or does it do it for you?
No, I put it all in. And then
Okay,
every time I moved to something else, I was finding something new.
okay.
You know, I was exploring the whole thing.
Sure.
So,
And this is his first video, by the way, so.
Yeah.
That's where also as well, we start and it's like, okay, now we want to improve. The other thing I would suggest too is if you broke this up and do a bunch of smaller, shorter videos, your music would then
Yeah.
go from rock and
Yeah.
roll to then little slow piano, and there's where that consistency thing comes into play. Like right in the middle of a shot where you go from one song to the other song, I'd like to see you have one song for each section, let's say,
okay.
faded in, faded out. As
Yeah.
well, some of the images were a really short time. I mean, 1 or 2 seconds, you could have some more consistency with that in terms of how long the images are up there. Usually.
That's what I was trying to work on, and I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Oh, how to make them longer?
Yeah, or shorter.
Okay,
Yeah, as if you had a smaller piece to start with, like
Yeah.
maybe 40 images rather than,
40 is even a lot.
yeah,
Just meaning,
start with,
as a first project,
yeah,
as a quick goodie, I'd say, like on do the baby one. Do that one to start. You got about 15 images. If you can make them about 5 or 6 seconds long, as a general rule of thumb, add a little transition in there, some dissolve, cross dissolve or something, so it gives us the viewer time to see it. That would help, because if the images are too quick, our mind doesn't process. Oh geez, what was that again? That kind of thing. So that's maybe a thought. Yeah.
well, and it was interesting that you did this with 3 grandchildren, but you only told us that later.
Right.
You could make a little movie about just that, like Kevin said. You had one where you had a series of the same or very, very similar photos for a few things.
Yeah.
One was the divers,
Yeah.
and that could, if you did, where was that?
That was Acapulco?
Okay, so if you did one on Acapulco, those you could make really quick, one after the other, with the right transition, it would look like they were diving.
Right.
But then you had one with this black and gray fox.
Fox.
What kind of fox was that?
All I know was a black and gray. It was out in our backyard. It hung out there.
In where?
Evergreen, Colorado.
Okay, well, at any rate, those you could just get rid of the ones that were blurry.
Yeah.
You had a lot of them,
Right.
but some of them were very nice and sharp and some of them were blurry and there was no point really having them.
That's where my phrase is pruning.
Pruning.
I always talk about that in terms of only have your best pictures, clearest, sharpest pictures. The lighting is good. Also, like exposure wise, some of your images are very flat. And they need some more contrast. So adding a little contrast would help to some of those images. And as Holly's saying, have only the best images. You want people to be wowed by what you've got. And if people have images that are out of focus, there was a shot of a guy playing the flute or something. You had a really close-up shot of him. Well, you could see the focus was on the guy behind him. The guy in the foreground, who was your subject, was out of focus. I'd lose a shot like that. And this all comes in time.
Yeah.
Trust me, we don't learn any of this in one day and one session here.
1 year.
Or 1 year, or here I am after all these years of doing photography. I still learn something every day. And it just takes time, but finding your best images. And if you want help with that, I'll be happy to help you go through and say, this I would keep, this I would get rid of. Here's how we can help you. Like Todd's saying, some of the stabilization may help some of this video stuff. There was also some wonky stuff I saw with the two elk that were kind of feeding and fighting a little bit. And there was almost like a jello effect I saw, and I'm not sure why. But we could talk about that.
Do you use a photo editing, any photo editing?
No.
This is just straight out of the camera?
Most of them are.
Okay, they need a little love.
Yeah.
Every photo needs a little love. I always love when somebody says to me, no processing was done, no cropping was done. Well, fine.
Well, there was
You're not
some,
Ansel Adams, I'm sorry.
yeah, some of them are cropped and.
Sure.
Yeah.
But just meaning that this would be another thing, like Todd's saying, definitely to help the images, knowing how an exposure is correct. There was one image of the fox, the gray fox, that was super dark. He's like 3 stops,
Right.
too dark. That needs to be lifted in a photo editing program, be it Photoshop or Lightroom or something.
Yeah, like even in Photoshop, when you go into the editing, there's an auto button there. You can press that and it really cleans up a whole lot of things
Sometimes, yeah.
quickly.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
bring
you
the
still
job.
have to tweak it.
But I'll tell you what, though, there are images where it does really work nice.
That was in the dark with just the floodlight
Yeah,
in the distance.
yeah, but I mean, those are things that'll help make that a better presentation. Your images look better, clean, colors are good, everything looks good. So that's something we can work on with you.
Sure.
And we
Okay,
have all those programs in the photo.
yes,
So
which
you
is
can
even
come
better.
in and work with it.
Yeah, Sherry Lee.
I just want to say kudos to you for getting started, because that's where it all begins. And we look forward to seeing what you do with this.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the beauty of it. We all start somewhere, and usually I can tell you, and I've said this to this group before, I look at the first video I ever did, it's horrible. It's so bad. So it just comes in time. Okay, does anybody have anything else on that? All right, we got one more quick video to show. This is Royce's video. Royce, why don't you tell us about this?
My grandson is nuts about farming, so I contacted a guy I know that has a farm in Eastern Washington. And he was more than happy to have my grandson come out and spend some time with him. And I was more than happy to do some video work on the farm. It's a 1,000-acre farm in Eastern Washington.
Okay,
So this is just about the farm,
all right,
the area. It's a real sharp one.
all right, let's check it out. Okay, what do we think of that?
Great stuff.
Wow is right.
I like the ending where it was just going out of the picture at the end of it.
What'd you think of the drone shots? There was a shot with almost the last shot, oh my God, with the silos in the background.
Yeah.
That was like unbelievably nice.
I worked,
That shot right there, wow.
Yep.
Just beautiful.
So what was the green?
Wheat.
it's a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Would-
loved the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, music was great. I think I'd like to see maybe some shots closer to the tractor, you know, maybe in front of it where it's coming towards you and backing up. I think the other thing is having perspective on these pieces of equipment are massive
Oh, sure.
and everything. And without anything to compare them to,
Well, sure.
it might have been,
Well, here's the question. How far away were you? You were sitting in the van. How far away were you?
Oh, it's probably half a mile, quarter mile away.
Oh, that's why you're flying high. The thing that I found, it gets really dangerous to fly low when you don't know what's going on and you can't see the drone. So by flying high, on some of those, probably a shot like that, he's probably 40, 50 feet at least off the ground and maybe even higher.
Yeah.
And then some of those shots, you're hundreds of feet off the ground. Well, you're not going to hit anything. So I can fly backwards. Usually when I've crashed the drone, most of the time, it's always because I'm flying backwards and I don't see where I'm going and I run into something.
And the hill's going up.
Yes,
So it's kinda hard
exactly.
to do.
So that,
So this was so like smooth and steady the whole way through?
Yeah.
Is that something that you're responsible for, or the equipment does it?
To a certain extent, yeah, the horse has got a gimbal on it, so that keeps it smooth, but the actual turning and all that, there are algorithms that can do that, but in my case, I was all manual.
yeah,
Well, you did a great job on that.
Yes, you did.
It was amazing.
the
Does
drone.
that shoot slow motion? Or is it like 120
You can do it
frames a
half
second or
You can-
whatever?
You can do slow motion. You can do a time lapse on it.
You can do a time lapse with a drone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You know, this is like 1/10 of my video footage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is trip number one, we did 3 trips.
Okay.
And I've got other videos that I've worked on. My grandson there, and I've got him interviewing, I'm working all that in too.
Nice.
This particular video is up on YouTube, it's got 9,000 views.
I bet.
Wow.
Does he, is he driving the tractor, your grandson?
The big combines, no, but I have video of him driving big trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his first experience driving trucks, and I got video of that. And driving a little quad, all these things that this farmer that I connected him with is just, he loves teaching kids, working with kids, and he just gives them a free rein. He sees it, this grandson is just really hands-on, take charge, go do it. And he's riding his quad, going from one place to the other. Yeah, I hit 50 miles an hour. It was great. When are we going back? Yeah, so I've got all of that video
Nice.
being processed. I got more close-up shots too. This was trip 1. Trip 3, they were finishing the harvest. And I got some really nice shots of them going, the combines going up on top of the hill with him following. So there's some nice stuff.
Farming ain't what it used to be.
No, it's not.
How old is your grandson?
He's 12.
Wow,
Yeah.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's a big kid, but he's aggressive. I mean, he and his farm just hit it off. They were best buds. I mean, he was crying when he left.
Oh, boy.
He just liked this guy so much. And he let him do all kinds of things. He rode in the combines and the other one they call
The cart.
too. And he rode along with them all day. Well, where do you go to the bathroom? That was kind of some fun. But anyway, all kinds of experiences there. He wants to be a farmer right now. So,
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't include that bathroom stuff in the video. The nose picking and the bathroom. Yeah.
but I got a lot of that stuff, man. I just got so much footage to pile through, but even drone footage, I have a lot of stuff to go.
Yeah, you had a good day to fly and it really looks nice.
And speaking of those, the zones,
Yes.
like, it was a pain to shoot this, it was near an airport. Abandoned airport, and I had to go through the whole process.
Oh, yeah.
And get approved to fly up there.
Yep.
An abandoned?
It's a little airstrip, some guy with a barn, but it was still on the map.
So, yeah.
Okay, does anybody have anything else on that? All right,
Well,
well, thank you.
let me throw in one
Oh, go
more,
ahead.
same as I said before. Whenever I see a video, I say, what's the story?
Right,
I mean, these are great, great pictures, but how are you gonna do it? What kind of story are you gonna make?
Yeah, this is the scenic, this landscape story.
you don't like that.
This is how.
To me, Larry, this is a standalone piece just to show some beautiful shots. Now, if Royce is gonna do something where he's gonna not interview, but he's got working in his grandson and doing that, then that's a different thing to me. And the thing that I love about a piece like this is it's 3 minutes and 23 seconds. The music is great. It puts me in this great tranquil mood as I'm watching this imagery. That's all I want from this video. I don't want it to be anything else. Yeah, Doug, or go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, this is one you could have in the dentist office.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's good. I like that.
Doug, you just chill out, you wouldn't even know the game's going in.
Doug, what do you think?
I'll see it at the dentist.
So I just love to see machinery.
Yeah,
So that's my story. is
Well, sure.
Look at the machinery.
Yeah.
well, see, it worked in it. I just think it's the beautiful shot. It just, to me, it doesn't, every project doesn't have to be, I don't want Royce to do narration on this. You know, I don't want to see this guy farms 1,000 acres. I see this area is vast.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you want to do that, then that's why we always talk about everybody's got their own style of doing things and the look and feel thereafter. We don't have to do everything the same. So, I mean, I'm not disagreeing in the sense that if he does one of these and he does a story with his grandson, then that would be great. Incorporate that footage. But this one, I love it the way it is. So, okay. Anybody have anything else?
I thought that, like what you're saying, I've never seen anything like that before. So that was a gift just to be able to see that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, definitely for people that have never been out on a farm or see this kind of a setup. It's like, man, this is really cool.
What's the story of the river there? I mean, is it just totally underground year round or what?
Yeah, there's a little spring that feeds it, so actually it's year round. That's
Underground though?
No, it's above, you can see the water in it. It's not very much.
Not very much, yeah.
So-
Okay.
Okay. All right, let me,
Reminded me of the Santa Cruz.
there you go. All right. We are done for today. We will be back here next week on the 27th. Bring me some videos. Everybody have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.